Hello everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode of my new show, Sonic Pitch. Now, I know what you're thinking. What is this? The name kind of says it all, really. It's me pitching various things that I would like to see in the Sonic franchise. You know, it could be anything. I could be pitching a game, an aspect of a game, a show, an aspect of a show, anything. And what I wanted to pitch here was something that I've actually had on my mind for a while now. And I recorded kind of a version of this video way back, kind of when the Rally for Sally movement was getting started. And I was going to kind of do this thing where I kind of weaved in new stuff, and also stuff I recorded for that video, but I figured, nah, better to just re-record it all. Now that being said, I should probably say what this is. I'm talking today about how I would reincorporate Sally into the Sonic franchise in both the new Sonic Prime show and in the games. Now, this is going to be slightly different from other Sonic Pitch episodes. Most of those will be scripted. This one is not. I do have some stuff written down from that first video I recorded. But yeah, a lot of this is going to be kind of more free-flowing. We're going to start with Sonic Prime, because that's a bit more recent and a bit more relevant. As for that, I think you just treat her like she was always there. Sonic Prime is a new thing. It's not necessarily going to be super far removed from the games as much as Boom was, but that being said, it's still its own thing. So if you have Sally just kind of be a part of the team from the get-go, say, this is our friend Sally, she has a computer named Nicole who helps us do things, and she has these cool wrist blades that she can use to fight. Is anyone really going to care? Did anyone care when Sticks got introduced into Sonic Boom? No, I don't think anyone would care if Sally just showed up at the beginning of Sonic Prime. Now, as for what you do with her after that, I don't know. One thing I think is interesting, and one thing I think we need to look more into, is that Sonic Boom seemingly was kind of exempt from some of the mandates that Sega had. Mainly the romance ones, because, you'll see the mandates from Sega for the comic books are Sonic can't be in a relationship, and none of the established Sega characters can be in romantic relationships. And while Sonic Boom didn't have that, they did do a lot of... I think that was the first thing I've seen where they actually imply that there's a mutual thing there between Sonic and Amy. So it's possible you could do something like that in Sonic Prime with Sally. However, unfortunately, I think if they were to give Sonic a love interest in Sonic Prime, it's probably going to be Amy. That's more well known, unfortunately. But again, this is Sonic Pitch. This is me pitching the thing I want. It's also possible that, again, Sonic Prime is going to tackle the multiverse, different realities, and it's possible we'll see different alternate versions of Sonic. What would be cool, what I wouldn't mind seeing, is something that I would have liked to have seen in the Archie comics and we didn't get. Maybe Sonic meets an older version of himself who's already with Sally and who's, kind of doing his own thing, and Sonic gets to kind of learn from this older version of himself. One thing I would kind of struggle with, and one thing that kind of kept me from completely getting on the Rally for Sally movement, well, there's also the fact that movement kind of imploded. I don't know what happened there. I don't really care what happened there, but regardless, is that I remember when the reboot happened, one of my biggest problems is that one of the big reasons that I like Sally so much is her relationship with Sonic. To me, Sally is Sonic's Lois Lane. It's, she's his Mary Jane. And, it feels almost wrong for her to still, be there, but then be relegated to a different role. Now, granted, that's not all Sally was. She was the leader of the Freedom Fighters. She was cool without having to be that, but that added an extra layer of depth to both her and Sonic's characters. So when you take that away, it just doesn't feel the same, and part of my problem with bringing Sally back is that aspect most likely won't be there, and that sucks. But, again, if I were to put her in, if she were to be in Sonic Prime, if I were to dictate how she was in there and if she was in there, that's how I would do it. I would have them kind of have like a romance that you see in a lot of kids' shows, where it's oh, they like each other, but they don't want to say they like each other, and then, the season finale, maybe, we get the big reveal or whatever. Something like that, I think would be cool. Do I think we'll see her in the show? Probably not, but again, that's the magic of this show. I get to say what I would want, regardless of how likely or unlikely it is to happen. Now, moving on to the games. Again, I think with the games, the best thing you could do is act like Sally's always there. Now, the problem with that is that whereas Sonic Prime is a new thing, so if you were to throw her in there right at the start and be like, no, we've always known Sally. Sally's our good friend. people aren't going to question as much. Whereas if you have Sally show up in the games and she just has seemingly always been there, people are going to question it. Now, you could always say that, like, oh, she was just off screen, you know, we just never mentioned her or invited her to any adventures or to Sonic's birthday party, I guess. Now, I think that'd be pretty cheap if they were to do that. Now, one thing I came up with, I actually wrote a while ago. I was writing a kind of something like this, actually, but before I even had titled it, where I was going to pitch my dream Sonic game, and Sally was in it, and I kind of tackled this there, and I probably still will make that video eventually, but just to spoil some of it here. Essentially, I would try to kind of retcon Sonic's origins. You know, I would say that essentially before Sonic 1, or before his first adventure, because, you know, whether or not classic Sonic and modern Sonic are the same Sonic has gotten kind of dicey now. I mean, you know, I'll always see it as one linear story that just kind of diverges at a point, but before what we see in the games, Sonic lived in the Kingdom of Acorn, and him and Sally were childhood friends. And the reason I would do this is because a lot of the people who know Sally and like Sally and want to see Sally come back were introduced to her via Sat AM, where they were childhood friends. So I think having them meet as adults or as whatever age Sonic is, and, you know, that would feel weird in the games. So I think if you go back and you do this little retcon, that definitely helps. Because, again, the people who know Sally don't want to see her and Sonic meet again. And the people who don't want her won't care. They'll hate her regardless. So you might as well do it this way. Now, again, you have the question of how do you explain how Sonic never mentioned his childhood friend Sally? It's really quite simple. You do the classic thing where after he first fought Robotnik, he went back to the Kingdom of Acorn, you know, he was hailed as a hero and everyone celebrated him. But then he couldn't help but wonder if he was putting everyone he knew in danger, especially since he was the only one with any special powers, and none of the others could really defend themselves, especially, in his eyes, Sally. So he kind of just left in the dead of night and never turned back. And then later on he met Tails, and obviously we know the rest. That way, not only do you explain where Sally's been, but you can also kind of explain why Sonic is so emotionally distant in a lot of the games. And essentially, in whatever game you introduce her in, you can have them meet up, you can have there be kind of some friction between them that would last throughout the majority of the game. And then you can have, you know, why Sonic left to be revealed to Sally, and then they make up, and then she's a part of the Sonic cast. Also, that way, you can have their status as a couple be kind of up to fan interpretation. Because, again, as much as I would think that she should just be his love interest, Sega isn't going to let them do that right now. So, while, again, Sonic Pitch is meant to be what I want, it also does have to be somewhat in the realm of possibility. And also, if you leave it kind of vague, then you can have Sally Cole shippers be happy as well, and everyone wins, right? But anyway, that's enough plot. These are video games after all, so how would I have her play? Well, I think there are a couple of options for that. Sally is a character who, again, doesn't have any special powers. She relies on her wits and her tools to survive. And I think her gameplay should reflect that. One option I think would work would just be to wholesale rip off the Avatar from Forces. Maybe give her a grappling hook that she can use for platforming and attacking. As well as this, however, while I didn't read much post-Genesis Archie for reasons I already mentioned, I quite liked the wrist blades they gave her. And I think that would be really cool to add that to her gameplay. Another option, which I honestly don't see happening, but hey, it doesn't hurt to try, is maybe they could use her to experiment with stealth gameplay. You could have her hack into stuff with Nicole and use her as kind of a detective vision, kind of like the Batman Arkham games. Again, I don't think I see this happening, but it'd be fun if they were to experiment with stuff like this. Now, do I think any of this will happen? I don't know, really. We are seeing Sonic entering a new era, you know, new voice cast, new writers, so if there were a time for it to get introduced, maybe now is it. Again, I don't think she'll be in Sonic Prime, if I'm being completely honest with both you and myself, but it's just something I would like to see, and it's trending right now, so I figured I would include that as well, whereas originally this was just going to be about the games. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you would want to see from Sally in the games. Because remember, once she's in the universe, she isn't just limited to Sonic. You can see her and Blaze connect over their shared responsibilities to the different kingdoms. I remember her and Knuckles had kind of a friendship in the pre-Genesis era, so they could do something with that. If you were to work her into the comics, you could have her kind of, you know, claim the leadership role of the Resistance, which, honestly, Amy just kind of stole from her in that. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but Amy in Sonic IDW is more or less just Sally. She fills the exact same role Sally would fill if they were to have her in there. I'm getting off topic. But anyway. And I decided to piss people off right before I ended the video, so there's that too. But regardless, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I know I already said that, but then I went on a tangent, so I'm saying it again. Let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you want to see from Sally being in the games and the comics and the the shows. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like, consider subscribing, help grow the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.